All right, good evening. Welcome to the broadcast. Thank you for your wonderful company. You're watching EBN Prime Edition. Let me get you started with the day's top stories. President William Ruto on a charm offensive after nominating familiar faces and opposition leaders to cabinet. Cracks within the opposition. Azimio slams President William Ruto following cabinet nominations as NARC Kenya seeks formal exit. Parliament deletes all Finance Bill 2024 clauses as it continues to debate budget supplements. Good evening. Thank you for joining us. I'm Cynthia Nanjala. Now, Wiper Party leader Kalonzo Musyoka was on Thursday chosen by the Azimio La Umoja One Kenya coalition to lead the political outfit. In a statement read by the Jubilee Secretary General Jeremiah Kioni, it was explained that current Azimio leader Raila Odinga was busy campaigning for the African Union Commission chairperson position. Additionally, the Azimio leaders revealed that the ODM party leaders joined President William Ruto's cabinet as individuals, as the coalition had disagreed to engage in dialogue with the president. On the nomination of ODM members to Ruto's cabinet, Kioni revealed that the coalition had not sanctioned such a move. All right.
Azimio La Umoja One Kenya Coalition Party, we note that Ruto has nominated the top leadership of one of our constituent parties, ODM, to his cabinet. With this move, he has attempted to destroy multi-party democracy and seize control of the parliamentary system. Additionally, Ruto is working to silence the voices of the opposition, both inside and outside of parliament. Ruto's continued cannibalization of political parties. He's done this to Jubilee in the past. He's now doing it to ODM. Goes against the letter and spirit of the Constitution of Kenya. It also offends the NADICO report, the National Dialogue Committee report. We believe that Ruto is an existential threat to our democracy and must be resisted.
In a statement, opposition leader Raila Odinga has maintained that neither his ODM party nor the Azimio La Umoja One Kenya coalition has entered into an agreement with President William Ruto's government, despite the head of state including 4 of his allies in the list of the new cabinet nominees on Wednesday. In a statement, Odinga emphasized that while discussions have been ongoing, no formal coalition terms have been formalized between the parties involved. The ODM leader further reiterated the party's commitment to upholding democratic principles on good governance. Odinga's sentiments come hours after ODM Secretary General Edwin Sifuna called for the resignation of Mbadi, Wandai, Joho and Oparanya from the party following their nomination to the cabinet. Sifuna further intimated that the nomination of the 4 was not approved by the party leader Raila Odinga, stating that if his hand was involved in the speculated pact, there would be gender equity in the nominations. Now, members of parliament got back from recess on Tuesday, 23rd July, and on Thursday, they picked it up from where they left with a discourse on the now withdrawn Finance Bill 2024. The MPs voted to delete all clauses of the bill following its referral from President William Ruto back to the August House. All hell broke loose on 25th June after a majority of members of parliament voted yes for the controversial bill that subsequently led to the occupying of parliament when protesters made it to the bicameral house.
This bill has really costed some of people who voted yes. Therefore, Mr. Speaker, we don't want to waste time with it. We want it dead like yesterday. Please, can we go ahead and kill it right now?
I think this matter is settled by your last statement, that you need to write to the president to agree, to tell him that the House has agreed with his communication, because what members are asking for, Mr. Speaker, when a bill goes through the third reading and it is taken for assent to the president, that bill is no longer ours. It is now with the president. Mm-hmm. Before the third reading, we have all the powers within Parliament here to either withdraw it or push it aside or whatever we want to do with it. The question that they are asking is, where is the graveyard? Where is the grave? Is it in Parliament or in the State House? The grave of this bill is in the State House, Mr. Speaker, the burial rights. So you communicate to him that we have agreed with him all the clauses he has deleted, and please take it and bury it there and don't return it back again, Mr. Speaker. That's the communication.
That a bill can never become a law or an act of Parliament unless and until it is assented to by the President, or at the lapse of 14 days, if the President does not assent to it or send it but does not act, does not do anything. If this bill was sent to the President and he stayed with it for beyond 14 days from the time it is presented to him, then it became law. Honorable Speaker, these are some of the untruths and falsehoods that were being peddled out there, Honorable Speaker. And because, Honorable Speaker, as we said during the Kamukunji, in a way, just like the President considered that his government had failed Kenyans in terms of being able to communicate, even ourselves as a House, Honorable Speaker, and I said this in the Kamukunji and in our leadership meeting, we have also failed in communicating and letting Kenyans know what actually goes on in this House, Honorable Speaker.
President William Ruto has praised his cabinet nominee for Interior and National Administration for his role in restoring peace in restive parts of the country. Ruto hailed Kithure Kindiki's achievements a day after he announced his return as cabinet secretary, joining other 9 former colleagues in the cabinet disbanded on July 11th. Speaking while inspecting projects in Tharaka Nithi, Kindiki's home county, Ruto said the Interior CS nominee had played a huge role in tackling banditry in the North Rift region and leading the fight against terrorism.
Na katika hiyo serikali ambayo ni ya kuunganisha wa Kenya, huyu Profesa Kithure Kindiki ataendelea kuwa waziri wa usalama. Si huyu Profesa Kindiki amefanya kazi mzuri jameni? Si amefukuza magaidi walikuwa wanatusumbua huko Lamu? Si amefukuza bandits walikuwa wanasumbua watu wa North Rift? Amefanya kazi mzuri. Na mtu akifanya kazi mzuri si anaendelea? Aendelee asiendelee? Aendelee asiendelee? Huyu Profesa Kindiki aendelee ama asiendelee? Hebu nione wanasema aendelee, 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 aendelee.
Now, President William Ruto has this evening arrived in the coastal town of Mombasa ahead of his development tour in the region. Ruto was flanked by the Mombasa County Governor Abdul Samad Nasir and Nyali, Member of Parliament Mohammed Ali. This comes a day after nominating former County Governor Ali Hassan Joho to the Ministry of Mining and the Blue Economy.
Lakini hii serikali siwezi kuendesha peke yangu. Jana nimeteua baraza la mawaziri mpya. Na nimesema watu wa Mombasa jameni, nimekuja kuwaomba munipatie Ali Hassan Joho awe waziri katika serikali ya Kenya. Mombasa, mimi nawauliza, mumekubali Hassan Joho awe waziri wangu wa mambo ya madini na mambo ya uvuvi na mambo ya blue economy na mambo ya maritime affairs? Wangapi wanakubaliana na mimi nimpatie hiyo kazi Ali Hassan Joho?
Embakasi East Member of Parliament Babu Owino has expressed disappointment after 4 ODM party members accepted their cabinet secretary position nominations from President William Ruto. Owino, who proclaimed himself the chief opposition leader, said he will continue fighting for the interest of Kenyans as the opposition.
ODM party is like an army. 4 of our generals and the brigadiers have deserted duty and gone to sleep with our enemy. It has no direction from the commander-in-chief, who is the Raila Amolo Odinga. The party leader was abroad on a private visit, only to come back and find 4 generals and the brigadier have deserted duty and they joined the opposite camp.
ODM, those who accepted these positions, Gen Zs cannot come out to fight for you, and then you behave like hyenas. Gen Zs died, people died, other Kenyans died because of this. You are not party to it. Why should you accept these positions? That is a show of greed, and that should never be tolerated.
To make it worse, the appointment do not reflect the diversity of the party we love, as there clearly was no regard to gender, age, or regional considerations.
The ODM party is not in a coalition government with the KK party. ODM will remain in parliament as the minority party and will continue to offer oversight the KK government and expose all the ills, all the corruption, so that we continue to build and enhance this constitution and enhance our integrity, accountability. We just hope our colleagues who have joined the government are not going to soil the good name of ODM, because we don't see much that's going to come out of this KK government.
I want to wish those who have relinquished their party positions to join government well. And I want to declare here that I will be offering myself to replace one of the leaders who has left the party. The public is wondering whether really it was the right time for us to abandon the cause. And we are telling the public we have not abandoned the cause.
Women leaders from the Maa community have condemned cyberbullying and sexual attacks directed towards Defense Cabinet Secretary nominee Soipan Tuya. Soipan, who served as Environment CS in President William Ruto's first cabinet, was on July 19th appointed to the same position before she was switched to the defense docket on July 23rd. Having survived a purge that saw other members of the first cabinet left out of Ruto's new list, Soipan's appointment attracted scrutiny on social media platforms. The scrutiny attracted negative remarks and sexual attacks on her rise to the cabinet.
Soipan deserves this appointment. She is up to the task, and we will want to even watch as she's being vetted, because Soipan is one person who has not been associated with any scandals whatsoever in everywhere she has worked. Within the 2 years she was in the Ministry of Environment, she has achieved a lot.
Kwa mara ya kwanza mwanamke indigenous amepewa hiyo docket muhimu. Na sio Soipan ndo mwanamke wa kwanza hii Kenya kupewa hiyo docket. Tulikuwa na Omamo, alikuwa waziri wa defense, na tujaona akidhulumiwa venye Soipan amedhulumiwa. Sisi tunasema kama majensi ni good governance ndo tunataka. Mambo na dhuluma ya kijinsia hatutaki.
Na hatuwezi kuja tu hapa ati kwa sababu ni mama mwenzetu. Hapana. Tumekuja hapa kwa sababu tunajua anafaa na tunajua anaweza, na hawezi kutuaibisha tukiwa wa Kenya, na hawezi pia kuaibisha the appointing authority kwa sababu atafanya kazi.
When it comes to women, we use different standards. You don't look at my capabilities. You don't look at whether I have any moral corruption stain. All you want to look at is my morality. So because of that, I want to tell you, I stand with Honorable Soipan Tuya as a fellow woman. Yes. Because my gender, my tribe is woman. Yes.
Now, President William Ruto has appointed Douglas Kanja to the position of the Inspector General of Police. Kanja assumed the position of acting IG after the resignation of Japheth Koome on July 12th. Kanja has had a 4-decade career in law enforcement, which started in 1985, during which he rose through the ranks to the top command of the service. He previously served as the Deputy Inspector General of the Kenya Police Service and was the commandant of the General Service Unit for 5 years. Head of Public Service Felix Koskei also announced the appointment of Eliud Kipkoech Langat to the position of the Deputy Inspector General of the Kenya Police Service and Gilbert Masengeli as Deputy IG of the Administration Police Service. Pending Kanja's vetting process by both houses of Parliament, Masengeli has been appointed as the acting Inspector General of Police. A section of political leaders from Western region have met in Nairobi to deliberate on the way forward for the region. The leaders from different political parties say they want to chart a new political future for the Mulembe nation, adding that the current crop of leaders in senior government positions have failed to protect the interests of the community. The leaders say they will be meeting on the same in Kakamega next week.
Sisi kama viongozi wa sasa kwamba kuna pengo la uongozi katika upande ule wa magharibi. Kuna wale viongozi ambao wamekuwa kwa kule mbele, lakini tunaona kwamba masuala ya jamii hawayaangalii kikamilifu, na ndiposa tumejitokeza sisi kama viongozi ambao tuko sasa tuanze ule mjadala, alafu tukitoka hapa kuna mipango mingine ambayo tumepanga ili mjadala uendelee.
So tumekubaliana kwamba tunaenda kuwa na mkutano wa viongozi grassroots leaders wa mkoa wa Magharibi yote, kaunti zetu 5 zote on Monday kule Kakamega, na tunaenda kuleta viongozi wote wakuje tusemezane, tuambiane what is our way forward as a community. Na tungependa tutembee aje, tungependa tuongee na nani.
We wouldn't have gotten where we are if there was leadership in the country. And that realization is what brings all these people together amongst us here, and many more who will join. I believe we can put our heads together. Honorable Mugabe, Honorable Nabi, all these people have Milanya. They have people who are, have the capacity to be able to proffer some solutions to some of the issues. So we are not interested in attacking anyone. Or we just want to consult amongst ourselves.
Church leaders have vocally called for an immediate end to the ongoing suppression of journalists, highlighting the critical role of a free press in society. The leaders emphasized the need for media personnel to operate without fear of suppression or retaliation. The church leaders condemned the increasing instances of media crackdowns, stressing that such actions undermine democratic values and stifle the flow of information. They argued that journalists must be allowed to perform their duties freely to ensure transparency and accountability in governance.
Media fraternity are disturbed and they are offended because there was an attack to the media. We also say that's wrong, and media is a very important stakeholder or a very important institution in informing Kenyans what is happening within our country. They should be given their space. Also, the media also be objective in your reporting.
Wanahabari ni vyema wakapatiwa nafasi yao ya kutangaza katika uhuru wao, pia wakatangaza katika njia iko na maadili mema bila kuegemea sehemu yoyote, ili basi wasije wakafurugana na serikali.
So media houses wako na jukumu, na ningeomba pia media houses wakati wanapo report waweze kureport pia mambo vile ilivyo. Si kwamba wanaficha ama si kwamba ati wana exaggerate vile mambo hiko.
I think the government should just let the media to do its work, because the media is just doing its work to report. So wachaneni na media tafadhali.
We in Uganda have watched with great concern what's happening in Kenya. We look at what's going on and we have emphasized prayer and capacity building. We need to pray because there are no easy solutions. The Gen Zs have a very strong point. The leadership leadership is engaging, but we can see that there is a need for God's intervention.
There is nothing impossible with God. And therefore ni vizuri tuombee nchi yetu, kwa maana kuna mambo mengine hatutaweza, lakini Mungu anaweza yote. Tunaamini nchi yetu itakuwa na amani.
Ours is to request the government to continue offering the space for discussion, for dialogue.
Now to sports. Kenya's Shujaa hopes to reach the Paris Olympic Games quarterfinals were dashed on Thursday following a 26-0 thrashing by Samoa in the final Pool B fixture at the Stade de France. The defeat left the Kenyans out of the medal bracket after losing the other two preliminary matches against Argentina 12-31 and Australia 7-21 on Wednesday. Shujaa needed to beat the Samoans with a big margin to revive their hopes of making it to the last 8 stage. But their opponents outsmarted them in every department. 4 tries and 3 conversions were enough to seal Shujaa's fate, as Samoa remained on course to sail into the quarters if they finish as one of the best placed number 3s. All right, that is all we had for you tonight. Thank you very much for your wonderful company. I hope that you are up to speed on what is making headlines countrywide. My name is Cynthia Nanjala. Good night.